Hi everyone, Nicole Bowman here, and welcome back to Live the Light. If you are brand new to the channel, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe because that helps the channel to grow and build. And for all of the returning subscribers and listeners, thank you for the support, the comments. That really helps the channel to grow and that helps the videos to gain traction. So thank you for that. So today I'm going to be looking at Senator Elizabeth Warren. And for those of you who have been to my channel before, you know that I've been looking at some of the candidates on the Democratic side that are running for president of the United States in 2020. I'm not looking at all of the candidates. I'm only looking at the ones who step out and stand out to me energetically and the ones the spirit are pointing to in terms of feeling like their space and their place in the race is significant to our evolution as the American people. So Elizabeth Warren is one of those. So we're going to look at her energetically and what Spirit has to say about her role in this presidential race and election. Senator Elizabeth Warren is Senator of Massachusetts. And one of the things that I immediately connected to and tapped into with her energy, the question kept coming, is Elizabeth Warren the soul of America? And that's in my personal opinion, just me, Nicole, the individual, a strange question to ask, but Spirit kept pointing to her and saying, but no, she is the soul of America. And so as I connected and tapped in, I asked Spirit, well, what do you mean by that? And essentially they said that she represents the hopes and dreams of the American people. She really does represent America at her best, at rolling up our sleeves, doing the hard work, coming together, realizing we're all in this together, and we can win and we can make our country and our world a better place. So the thing that I do like and enjoy about Elizabeth Warren's energy, similar to Marianne Williamson, is that she is very, very sincere. She cares very deeply about the American people. She cares about the evolution of the American people. And the positive thing about Elizabeth Warren is she's very clear and concise about how we're going to pay for these things. She definitely is stressing education, so that's incredibly important to her. She's definitely stressing healthcare. That's incredibly important to her as well. And the thing is, she's had enough time in Washington and enough time behind the scenes to see what works and to see what doesn't. So there's a real sincere and concerted effort to help the American people thrive and evolve. I also see one of the things that is very near and dear to her heart is the opioid crisis in the United States. So many people being addicted to prescription drugs. She wants to find a way to eradicate that to help these people get clean. And she does have very clear and concise ways to pay for this. So Spirit definitely makes me feel like her energy is sincere. They definitely make me feel that she's not leading just for power's sake or for being a leader's sake. She really is stepping into the race because she cares about the soul of America and she cares about the American people. And when I look at her psychically, I also see that she is very empathetic. She's very sympathetic, but she is also a fighter. So there's strength, there's power to her, and she's going to go as far as she can in this race. I see she's really going to try to take it far. There's a pretty high chance she may make it pretty close to the end. I can't say with absolute certainty she's going to be president, but what I do see in her energy is that there is a real fight in her and there is a sincerity. And what I don't feel from her at all is I don't feel pride. I don't feel ego. I really do feel that Spirit is leading and guiding her. But what she has over some of the other candidates is not only does she have just that sincerity and purity of heart, she actually has actual policies that can back it up. So that's what makes her differ from some of the other candidates because there are some who, while they are not just leading for leading's sake, their heart is in the right place. They haven't really fleshed out their policies in a clear and concise way, but she has. So Elizabeth Warren is definitely one to watch. She is definitely one to listen to. And I actually see her working in tandem with Bernie Sanders. There's something about their energies and policies that are somewhat similar. I feel them talking and communicating. I also feel like on some level she may talk and communicate with Marianne Williamson because the thing is that Marianne Williamson, many of her thoughts and views are very similar to Elizabeth Warren, but the difference is because she's coming from a spiritual background and a spiritual perspective, the way that she communicates it, it doesn't translate to all of the American people because every American person does not necessarily speak that spiritual or new age lingo. The thing about Elizabeth Warren, though, is she can speak in very clear, bare bones terms that everyone can understand, even though she and Marianne Williamson have some shared and common values. So I do see her getting support from Marianne Williamson. I see her trying to work in tandem with Bernie Sanders, really talking to him, fleshing some things out. I will be doing a video on Bernie Sanders as well because his energy comes up very strongly. He's also one to watch. I'm not going to go into all of it right now. There's some more information that's going to come out about him, but he's also one to watch as well. And then just the final thing, when I connect and tap into Elizabeth Warren and tap into her energy, it's interesting. A while back, she had a bit of a scandal because she said that she had Native American ancestry and heritage. And of course, it came out that there was some Native American ancestry, but she did not have tribal citizenship. And I was also one who felt you have to be very, very careful about that. If you don't know for certain that you're a part of a tribe, if you don't answer to elders within that tribe, if you're not undergirded by the spirits in that tribe, you really cannot claim the native people because they're a sovereign nation unto themselves. And so Spirit definitely showed that she did a misstep with that. She wasn't meaning to be cruel. She wasn't meaning to be dismissive. She wasn't meaning to be irresponsible with her words or her actions, but she was in that moment. I see her owning up to it somewhat, but Spirit does make me feel that that's going to come back around again, and she's going to be questioned multiple times about that. So the guidance that they give her is just to be simply honest and say that she didn't know, and be honest and simply say, my parents told me that we had Native American ancestry and heritage, and that's what I believed, because that's the story I was told. So many of us have been told we have Native ancestry or Native heritage, or, family members are part of a particular tribe. So Elizabeth Warren is no different than any other American who often has some version of that story in their family. But the reason also why this is coming to the surface is because we, as the American people, we owe the indigenous Americans a great debt. We owe them a great debt for the Trail of Tears, for taking their land, for moving them off of their land, for the genocides, for the massacres, for stripping Native American children away from their tribes and their families and putting them in English boarding schools. There's a great debt that is owed to them, and their bones are buried on this land. And I can tell you, as a medium, when I walk through certain parts of the United States of America, whether it's in the deep South, where I've lived, whether it's to the desert, going to Nevada and places of that nature, you can feel the souls and the energy and the bones of the ancestors. You can hear them speaking. You can hear them in the desert. You can hear them very, very clearly. And it's not about making enemies of people or holding grudges, but it is about saying, we as American people have done some grave injustices to Indigenous people, and we need to own up to that. And Elizabeth Warren has a strong opportunity, actually, as she moves forward in this race, to really work very closely with Indigenous people and see what they need, and also possibly uphold some of the treaties and things that the United States government has broken with the Indigenous people. So there's a great opportunity for healing and evolution, and she does, in many respects, represent the soul of America. Her presence is being used to create a healing space, definitely, between the United States government and our indigenous brothers and sisters who are also Americans, and creating, more of a cohesive unit and connection, and really making amends and atoning. But what she also represents is she represents the soul and the energy of the children, and the children now who will one day become adults and will one day be a part of the voting block. So she is really one of those people that is one to watch, because she represents that old saying, or that old adage about old men and women who will plant trees that they will never see. And you do this because you think of the future generations. So you plant the trees, you teach people how to grow food, you teach them the songs of the ancestors, you teach them how to treat each other with love and respect, you teach people how to guide others. You may never live to see that happen, but you pass these traditions down so that we're a stronger people and a stronger nation. So we do have the opportunity and ability to come together. I definitely feel like Elizabeth Warren is a standout. I absolutely feel that President Trump is really going to be very focused on her. The name calling, the vitriol, it's not over. As she starts to seem to rise in the polls, I do see he's going to point fingers at her. Now, I don't feel like she's as high up as some of the other people involved. I'm still getting the energy of Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders really being the ones that people are watching more intently. But Spirit does say, don't sleep on Elizabeth Warren, because her heart, her energy is sincere, and she really does have a clear plan. So she's definitely one to watch in this debate coming up. And one of the things the Spirit says is, make sure that for all of the Democratic candidates, especially if you vote Democratic, and that's something you believe in, pray for those candidates that are running. And the same thing if you vote Republican or if you vote Independent. Always pray and put a level of protection around our leaders. We may not necessarily agree with everything that they do, but praying for them and praying for their well-being, and also praying that they see the truth, they see the light, and they act accordingly can really help and can really be felt. So that is what I'm seeing with Senator Elizabeth Warren. I will be coming back with more videos. I'm going to do one on Mayor Pete Buttigieg. I'm also going to do one on Bernie Sanders and possibly Joe Biden and also Kamala Harris, because their energies are stepping out very strongly as well. And I think we need to look at them too. Also, I will be available for readings Tuesday through Friday from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at NicoleBowman.biz. Just go to NicoleBowman.biz and click the call now button. You'll immediately be connected to me. It's on a first come, first serve basis, no appointment necessary or needed. Or if you like, you can also download the Click for Advisor app onto your phone and you can connect with me that way. But go to NicoleBowman.biz for readings and more. And always remember to live your light, live your bliss, and love yourself. Take care.